everyone. Welcome back to Tween Create. I'm Miss Kathleen. Today I'm excited to talk to you about our next project. We are going to be learning about and making our own mandala. So what is a mandala? Manda in Sanskrit means palace and la means hidden presence, and the word together actually is the word for circle. And the hidden presence is referring to divinity. So it's a palace for divinity. So the Western way of pronouncing mandala is mandala. Whatever way you want to pronounce it is fine with me. So a mandala is nested shapes, circles and squares that take you on a symbolic journey. It's art. So besides the shapes and the colors have an important role, and each color has meaning. So there's red, pink, orange, yellow, green, purple, and black, and they all have a separate meaning. So traditionally, mandalas are made of colored sand, and they're a meditative device, art that's designed to help you center your mind. They are precise designs of circles and squares and other shapes, and they're temporary. They're meant to be made over a number of days, and then they are scooped up because they're made of sand, and they are put in a body of water, I think. That is what I read anyway. They don't have to be temporary though. They are also just a really fun way to be creative and to relax your mind. So you might be wondering, where in the world did mandalas originate? Well, using mandalas as part of a spiritual and meditative practice has its origins in 4th century Buddhist practice in Asia. And then the idea spread as Buddhist monks traveling along the Silk Road brought the idea and practice with them. So now mandalas are a big part of spiritual and meditative practice in the Hindu religion as well. Recently, some amazing discoveries have been made that are aerial shots of some landscape mandalas. This one that I am showing you now was discovered in Imphal, Manipur, India, but there have been others that have been discovered just in recent years. This one was discovered in 2013. So this has a very, very interesting tradition, doesn't it? You can learn more about mandalas from the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco. Here is a clip of taking you through a life-size mandala. Okay, let's go ahead and make our mandala. So here are some important elements to remember. On your background, you're going to want to make a grid and make it in pencil and use a ruler so that it can be precise. And then you can use shapes around the house. I have my water glass here, so this would be a great circle shape. And I'm sure you have lots of square shapes. If you want to make a big one, you can use like a box. Here's like a lens. Don't use a camera lens. That's not a good idea. But you have lots of circles and squares around. Triangles can be used too, but you want concise, repeatable patterns. So decide your color pattern and decide your grid pattern. So here's some grids. This is a good way to start. And then you're always going to start in the center when you start coloring. So some possible materials for you to use: crayons, markers, pastels. You could use colored chalk. You could make the whole thing on your sidewalk if you wanted to. Do you remember that I said that they're supposed to be impermanent? You can make yours permanent though if you want to. It's your art. You could use colored sand if you happen to have it. I have colored rice before. You can color it with Kool-Aid and water and then just let it dry. You can use tissue paper. Just use your imagination. I'm sure you can think of lots of ways that I haven't even thought of. And you just want to print something out. Well, you're in luck because there are several resources that I found for some beautiful mandala templates. So they have the design already done for you. So it's like a coloring page. In fact, lots of people really enjoy coloring mandalas. So there are 3 here. This last one is a whole page of, a whole booklet of coloring pages. So coloring book, that's what that's called. Yes. All right, so I'm going to show you what I decided to do. I went to the dollar store and bought some contact paper because I thought it would be really fun to use contact paper as my grid. So I started by cutting out a square, and then I folded it in half and in quarters. And I'm going to be using colored tissue paper. So starting with my circle in the center, I'm going to move out. And I have some square shapes too, so I'll show you what that looks like, okay? Okay, so here is the beginnings of mine. What I'm planning to do with it is hang it up in my kitchen window because I think it'll be pretty with the sun shining through it. So here's the side where I attach the tissue paper, and here's the side that is non-sticky. So what I'll do when I'm finished is I'll put another piece of contact paper on top of this to kind of seal it all. And do you see that there is a square shape in the middle now? I have some other square shapes, and so I'm going to finish this and then I'll show it to you, okay? So I had this idea that I wanted mine to look kind of like shards were coming out of it because it's going to be up in my window, and I don't know, that's just what I wanted to do. I thought it was really fun to put together. I did planned out a grid before I put it together. So here is the finished product. You can kind of hopefully see the light come through it a little bit. But so in the center part of it is the design, and you can see where I incorporated the squares. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I really like, it's kind of like a kaleidoscope effect with the little, you know what those little kaleidoscopes are where you look through it and it has the changing colors. So that's kind of the effect I was going for. All right, so I am excited to see what you make and how you make your mandalas, and I hope that you will share them with us on social media, and I will see you next time, or you will see one of my wonderful colleagues, Maria, or Whitney or Gabby here on Tween Create. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.